Hey guys, welcome back to Sin Garage TV. Today we're going to go over how to do a fuel pump relay kit, our fuel pump relay kit on the R34 sedan. So check it out. So first things first, after you put a aftermarket fuel pump inside there, these wires here usually just gets overloaded, these wires. So we want to feed true 12 volts to the pump. These wires always get voltage drop, especially at the higher horsepower levels. Our relay kit basically uses this 12 volt power to trigger the relay, and we get a 12 volt source from the battery to bring right here to the fuel pump. And we also improve the whole grounding system of the fuel pump at the same time for our kits. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and make one of our fuel pump relay kits and show you how to wire it in. Alright guys, at first glance most people probably get a little intimidated here, but it's pretty easy. So right over here where the fuse holder is, this is our 12 volt supply. So this hooks up to your battery. Over here we have, this is going to be our chassis ground with the eyelid. And then on this side there's a smaller wire that's going to go to the stock harness negative. The thicker wire goes to the fuel pump negative, so to the fuel pump ground. So all our grounds are all tied in together. And then on this side, right over here, the thicker gauge, fuel pump power, the smaller gauge wire, that one goes to the stock harness power. That's going to be our trigger. So that's all it is. I'll show you how it's all going to be set up in the back as well. So my recommendation on every single car, if the battery, so our kits come for battery up front or battery in the rear. This car's battery has up front. So you are to your battery source. You're going to run it along the side over here, the shock tower. And then there's a hole right over here. And then a grommet behind the fender. You're going to send it through the grommet. And then bring it over this way. Then from there, you'll run it under the carpet all the way to the back. Some of the cars require your seat to be removed to be able to feed the wire through, like the 34s. And then everything will be back here. So when you're back here, first things you got to do is locate your fuel pump plug over here. You have a ground wire and you have a power wire. Use a power probe or a multimeter to figure out which one is which. And the only other thing you got to do is locate a chassis ground. So on the 34s we gotta remove this over here, and I believe there's, I have to take it out, but I believe there's a bolt somewhere around here where we can use the chassis ground for the whole setup. Make sure you always clean your grounds. If you don't clean your grounds, you're gonna cause resistance. That resistance will heat up the whole relay kit, and you'll end up burning up this top piece. Okay, can't have resistance in the system. You have to have a good ground. I can't stress that enough. All right, I'm going to start running the relay kit in, and then I'm going to show you the wiring up in the rear. All right guys, so got everything all wired in up front. Battery's disconnected so nothing is live. So if you pull this back gently, this is a 34. You're just going to look for the best spot, easiest spot for you guys to add a ground. For me, it's going to be right here. There's usually a little cover just like there is here. Be able to get a 10 mil there. I don't think it's a full like threaded unit there, so you might have to add a nut at the back of that, but that's what we're going to use. Like I said, you always want to clean all this up. Make sure it's cleaned up really good. You need a really good ground. So I'm going to clean up my ground, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to strip the wire back, the shielding back on the stock fuel pump plug. And like I said, you're going to find your positive, your negative, and you're going to wire it in to the, you're going to wire it all this in. So we have the fuel pump positive and fuel pump negative. So these two thicker wires are going to be on the plug side. You're going to cut it. And then the smaller wires, these two, so you have your fuel pump ground, and then you have your red wire, the positive. That's gonna be your trigger. And you're just gonna attach the ground to the chassis side, all that. So it's gonna be that easy. I'm gonna get it all done and show you what it looks like when it's all buttoned up. All right, just a little piece of advice. What I like to do is I slit a hole in the grommet, and I pass in all these 3 wires here. So you have your fuel pump positive, you have your fuel pump trigger, you have fuel pump ground, and then you have your ground for the harness side. So all that you're going to run through the grommet because the plug is right here, and you're going to work on that plug, and then the last part is ground to the chassis. And just like that, we're done. So here's it all buttoned up. We have our fuse holder, we have the relay itself, everything's plumbed in through here. Our ground is over there, looking all great. And that's how simple it is to install a relay kit. You can use this instruction to install any relay kit, but also the single rod relay kits that we sell for front mount batteries and rear mount batteries. Install will be very similar. This car right here is about to go on the dyno, so stay tuned for the next video. This car features a single rod remote top mount turbo kit. This is a RB25DE Neo. So stay tuned, guys. Till next time.